Check, check.
1 2 1 2.
This is the All in Check podcast. I'm
Yeah.
ARS,
And I'm StaceFresh.
and this is episode 4.
Hell yeah.
So, what are we going to talk about
We
today, Stace?
Since it's Wednesday, we're doing Women Crush Wednesday, and we're representing for the ladies today. So we're gonna talk women in hip hop.
Okay. Nah, just kidding.
What?
Yep.
You're not interested?
No, I knew you would say that something like that. No, I'm very interested in this topic, and it's funny just how I'm not against debating. It's just this is gonna be one of those things where no one's ever gonna win because it's a forever ongoing debate.
It's gonna be very interesting.
Women in hip hop. Some people will agree, some people will disagree. I think they are a major role in how hip hop's evolved and how it's still changing today. So I am a fan of women in hip hop, not one female in particular, but just that the whole presence of women in hip hop.
Yeah, variety.
Yeah, because I was gonna say damn, this is kind of a tough discussion and topic for me because I never really followed any particular female MCs. Not because I was against it. I just never really was drawn to it as much as when I'd hear it, I'd like it, but I never really got so in depth with it. I'm just all over the place when it comes to listening to music that I don't really follow particular artists in depth like that sometimes. So
I feel it. So, do you want to elaborate on the post that we posted on our Instagram?
Yeah. Let me pull that up real quick. First of all, so I just want to say this is episode 4. How are you feeling so far? Is everything cool?
I'm
everything
feeling great.
Copacetic or what?
I think that we've gotten a little better and a little more comfortable since episode 1.
Yeah, I hope so. So going back to that, what we were saying is the question was, who's in your top list of female rappers? That's what a major question was, and we had a lot of debates. Do you have the photos, the screenshots of any of the people going back and forth?
We basically asked who's in your top list of female rappers, and let's see, we got a lot of tags. So, True Red Blue, no, True Re Blue, True Dre Blue. Whoa, that was a trippy username to read. He put Missy Elliott, Lil Kim, Nicki Minaj, Snow the Product, Rico Nasty, Brianna Perry, Dreezy, Angel Hayes, Azalea Banks, etc. And he also tagged a few of the local ladies around the area. Nat the Lioness.
Oh yeah, that's another local good one. Yeah, that's dope.
She's dope. Homegirl Moni. Zay. I hope I'm saying this right. Yoshi Vintage.
Oh yeah, she's dope. She's part of Pack Music, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And continue. My bad.
And then let's see. MD Lens typed back then it was Lauryn Hill, Kim, and Foxy. Now his favorites are Rhapsody and Remy.
Oh yeah, they're definitely part of the tops. As far as Facebook went, I got a couple too. We're gonna go back and forth because we actually got a lot of people's interest with this post. Damian Logan on my Facebook said that Lauryn Hill, Jean Grey, Young Ma, Rod Digga, and Def Loaf or Des. How do you say that? Her name?
Def Loaf?
No,
Dej Loaf. Oh my god, I totally forgot about her.
Oh man, so I'm over here just butchering names. Denise V said Foxy Brown, and then Damien went again and commented on that. Foxy was fresh. She was definitely one of the OGs of this too. Desi B said Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, MC Light, Queen Latifah, Roxanne Shante, The Lady of Rage, The Brat, Missy Elliott, and so on and so forth. Missy Elliott, that's what I was going to actually talk about. Missy Elliott would probably have to be one of my tops because around the time that we were growing up, she was most of the time on BET, MTV, and on the radio. So when we were in elementary school, obviously she was dominating the hip hop scene at the time with Timbaland, So when you heard her, you heard Timbaland, and you heard her killing it, and they were all over the airwaves at the time.
You know what? I think she oftentimes goes overlooked. You forget, her and someone earlier mentioned, they mentioned Eve. And I was like, oh shit, that's right, Eve.
Yeah,
And
there's a
when I
lot of
was trying
artists.
to remember, us working on this topic, I was trying to remember like what were all the female MCs, and I noticed that I can't think. I have to really think deep because there is a lot of them,
Hmm.
but none of them have really. They're either not relevant now, like in these past few years,
Hmm.
or they haven't made such a big impact to where they're frequently mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of female artists that go underrated throughout their lifespan and their career, and I just think it goes back to just how it kind of we're moving in a new direction, and women are getting more respect than before. But I still feel like we have a long way to go. But I definitely do think there's some female artists out there who are killing the game and who could probably take out some male artists. So I definitely like tip my hat to those females out there who can hang, and they put in the work and they deserve their recognition. They deserve the respect and the attention they're getting. You know what I mean? That's why we kind of started discussing this topic. Stace hit me up the other day all heated because people are going in and she's like, nobody's taking me serious, da 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 da, and she's like
It's
ready
me.
to go off on people. But it's gonna be like this no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's artists who glorify women in a positive way, and then there's artists that glorify women in a negative way. But then there's borderlines of what kind of women are out there. There's good women, and then there's women that carry themselves very foully. And then it's like there's like a thin line. Some women walk on that thin line where they're dabbling
Where they
into
can
both
balance
sides.
both. Yeah.
Oh
Props to
God.
those women,
Oh,
though.
whatever. How can you balance both? Tell me. No, I'm just kidding. I
I
guess
don't
there's
know,
some out there.
but you know what? Oh my God, I started really hating this topic because I would see some posts like, especially recently with the whole Cardi B and everyone embracing Cardi B in the at least the mainstream hip hop scene, and she's doing Jimmy Fallon. Like, America is eating this girl, whatever this girl is selling, they're eating it
Oh
up.
yeah, and even there's OGs that are like supporting the likes of her, the likes of Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. And I'm talking about OGs. I'm talking like Erica Badu has been posting about these artists and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm not saying that you got to go based on people and like that, but if you got someone that's like a veteran of the game and part of the culture who's pushed it forward and preserved it, and they're backing up these females, there must be for a reason. Because
There must be, yeah.
for one, people, you can't get upset at the fact of how these people came in the game. Regardless of, like, for instance, Cardi B, her background was her background, and she's not faking the funk. And it's not. And some people are like, oh well, she's out here promoting, being a hoe or whatever they want to say how she is, but she is who she is. But she came up like that, and she never lied about who she was or what she used to do as a profession and stuff like that. So it's like, people say, "Oh, I'm tired of people being fake. I'm tired of people being like this or being like that." She's being herself in a full form, and sometimes it's a little uncomfortable for people who want to live behind closed doors or kind of like always bite their tongue. But she's doing the complete opposite and not afraid to be who she is. So I feel like it really ruffles people's feathers. It makes people uncomfortable, and clearly, if a dude's insecure, like, there's a lot of insecure men out there. If the dude's insecure, like, a female like that will make you feel very insecure and want to be combative and disrespectful towards. But and then it's like, too, like, some women will hear a song at the club and get turned up and be yelling in their dude's face. How many times have you seen those videos
Oh,
where Cardi B songs are going off and
that's me right there.
yeah.
My man fucking hates that. So I'm like, I'll be in the club rapping Bodak Yellow and I'll be all up in his face. Like, oh my God. But
Yeah, it's
listen,
wild.
um, I've noticed that it's mostly dudes hating on her come up. And it's like the OGs, like listen, I don't know. I'm very irritated and frustrated with this topic because when it comes to her, because no, she didn't fake that she had a stripper background.
Uh-huh.
I feel, I'll go as far as to comparing it to this. Okay, you're viewing her stripper background, her, some of the rants she would go on of being a hoe or whatever, calling herself a hoe, on Instagram. You're viewing that as negative and kind of putting her at a lower status because she's carried or expressed herself that way in her own voice. But
yeah, you guys are all mad at her, and it's like she's one of the only ones out here with the whole facts. Like, when you go buy a car, you want to see the Carfax. She got the whole facts up front, and everyone's out there all mad and shit. No, but
exactly.
continue. My bad. That's
so I'll go as far as to comparing it to this. You men rappers that rap about selling crack in the streets, to someone that came up with good morals, I may look at you as a fucking gangster that you can't find something productive to sell out on the streets, and you're selling these drugs to people, to fiends, and destroying your neighborhoods or your community.
So
it's a different type of slang.
That's what I'm saying. So
me?
it's like, I like, on to that topic. It's true. It's like we pick and choose what we're willing to accept, and like in a conversation I have with one of my boys, Luda, all the time, is like it's like this thing. It's like we do, or we accept what we're comfortable with. Like, everyone picks their own poison, but what are you willing to accept? Are you cool with this female glorifying something that majority of people are going to be cautious with or be standoffish with because they're not used to it? It's not the norm. Like a girl glorifying stripping, a girl glorifying that type of mentality and that type of way of life. But it's like, we glorify a lot of artists or actors or people that are of a higher standard, or people who have a higher calling, that are doing some outlandish shit, but we accept it sometimes. It's like, oh, well, they're so-and-so, or they're this, or they're that. So we're willing. That's what it is. It's like, it, again, like we always talk about, everything's opinionated based, but it goes back to like what Stace was saying. So it's like, we glorify some artists because some of us came up in that environment, and then some of us, like, the music motivates you. Music does influence you in a sense. So it's like, if you grew up in that environment, you'd understand it. But at the same time, there's some guys who grew up in that environment who had good morals, but yet still chose to go that route. Yeah. Some people were born into it and had no choice and didn't know any better, which was backed by ignorance. So everyone around them is ignorant, and then no one knows anything, but what they knew was how to make money. So that's how they had to figure that out. But same in Cardi B's aspect. She may not be completely wrong for what she's doing, because maybe that's all she knows, and she was probably not taught any better. But she's making the best of her situation, or maybe she could have been taught better. And it goes back to like the same thing. There's a lot of kids that come from good neighborhoods that want to be so bad that they end up throwing their life away. And then there's kids from bad neighborhoods or bad circumstances who end up turning their life completely around. So it's back to that thing where it's like, it's all opinionated based, and people are going to forever hate on successful women, and it just sucks. Well, people hate on successful men every day, but on successful women, especially how she came up, I feel like it's always going to be a topic where people don't want to speak on, or people rather just sweep it under the rug. And with any female artist in the game, honestly, it's like
basically any female, because Nick, people were, for a hot minute, a lot of people still do hate on Nicki because of her, the stuff she would also talk about, and it's like, quote unquote, hoish. Same thing with Lil Kim, I'm sure, when she first came out. Like all these female rappers that in some way incorporate their sexuality into it.
Yeah. And the thing is too, it's sellable, it's marketable, and if that's how they choose to be, that's how they choose to be. And being the fact that we're, you have the freedom of speech and freedom to do whatever you want, they're going to test those lines and go as far as they can. They're going to push people's buttons, but if it works for them, it works for them. You know what I'm saying? And then back to that, I was going to add to, I was thinking about that too when we are talking on the topic, and it's the fact that going back on sexuality and stuff like that, a lot of men out there would probably love one of these chicks. You know, it's like a dream, not
Uh-huh.
like a dream to like maybe be with the chick or
But
or
at
or,
least,
or mess around with a chick like this. But like what I'm saying, like listen, what I'm saying is they would like the idea of a chick like that, but they wouldn't wife a chick like that. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So they'll bash these chicks like, oh, they're getting in these girls' mind or whatever, but at the in the back of their mind, they would want a nasty, freaky chick or whatever they're rapping about or talking about. It's a turn on the dudes.
Yes.
But they wouldn't wife them though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like maybe someone out there would. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying,
Hey, she got a ring, bruh. She
no,
got a ring.
but what I'm saying though is like it makes insecure dudes uncomfortable, and then it also pushes buttons. But at the end of the day, most men out there will be like, I would like to give that a try. Like it's just enticing. Like Trina was wild, Lil Kim was wild. Like these females who have this crazy music and sexuality about them and the way they carry themselves and how they're explicit and everything, it's appealing to a man, whether it's a sin or whatever. Like it's appealing to a man and how they know their target like market. Obviously women are going to support it because women like to back other women, but it like I feel like it targets men and it's gonna obviously like draw men towards them, but at the same time you got a lot of men talking shit on her like from the
Hmm.
hip hop world, and then you got other people that are just bashing it for how these women are carrying themselves. But that's what I was going back to though. Is like these women are appealing, but so many people are gonna bash them. But in the back of their mind, they know they probably wish they could mess around with these chicks. You know what I mean?
And
But
because everyone's judgmental, like how we expressed in the last episode when we were talking about dating,
uh-huh.
everyone judges, others. Like
Mhm.
everyone's judgmental, so according to your own beliefs, that's what you're gonna base your love and hate towards other people or these certain topics off
Yeah,
of.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was looking at Stace's post on Facebook, and people were going in, and then like people were joking and saying like they were clowning Drake. They're like, because we put who's the best female MCs, you know, top MCs that are females, and people were commenting Drake, and I don't know. This shit was funny, but it's like Stace was getting upset because she's like trying to look for legitimate answers, and it's just one of those topics that I just feel like some people wouldn't even categorize females as dope MCs, or they wouldn't take them serious.
Yeah.
Regardless, we're in an age like there's always been ghostwriters, bro. So for people to be like, "Oh, it's not real hip hop, it's not this." Here we go again with the antics and the crazy hardcore fans. This is no disrespect to you. This is all love and everything. But what I'm saying is like people are in it to win it. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, some people are in it for the culture. Some people are in it for exposure, money, and the fame. But the people that are in it to win it, they're going to get a strong team behind them, whether it's a team of writers, whether it's a team of producers, whether it's a team of people who are putting everything together, but spitting the vocals for these MCs. If they've acquired a team and they can actually spit these bars and learn the cadences and actually create this and have the sound and have the energy and charisma, even if they had to learn it, like no one learns this shit overnight. Some people are naturally gifted and naturally talented, but some of these people take time and have to learn and be educated on this. So it's like if they're in it to win it, they deserve it. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And it's like some of these people have all odds against them, especially females in the industry, and that goes as far as radio. I've seen it personally. As far as the music business, as far as acting, and come on, all these allegations and stuff, which some could, and there's some women that will agree. Some of all this stuff sounds a little crazy, so some of it's not all true
Completely true.
accusations,
Yep.
but a lot of it is true, and a lot of this shit's been going on for years. So it's like, in a sense, women have been fighting for their respect and have been fighting for their rights, and I agree with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, um maybe when I was younger, I'd probably been on a dumb mind state or be against it. But like as I got older and I started realizing and learning more about women and how to respect women, it's like you got to give them their praise. It's due. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like like I said, I just feel like it's time that that they want to be embraced as equal, so they got to be treated equal. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I feel like it's been long overdue.
And going back to like equal, I mean, you can't really hate on these women with this heavy sexual content, because
Oh yeah.
we experience sexuality in a whole different way that men experience sexuality. So listen, when you hear Too Short rapping about freaky tales and how he fucked Monica, Keisha, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they broke the bed and they did it behind the trash
Yeah.
can or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He's out here being a hoe.
Yeah.
Let's keep it 100. He's being a hoe. How many women did he fuck in that song? I mean,
Yeah.
it's fake, but it may be fake. It may not. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll never know.
But
No, but see, that's
he's
going back to
slanging
that.
fucking dick. So, but that doesn't make him a hoe, right? He's storytelling. He's being macho. He's being a fucking alpha in that song. But when women do it, and I'm not defending, I'm not defending like being a hoe, but I'm saying when women express those stories,
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that it's always gonna
to
be
men
like that.
Because it's like, I don't want my girl listening to this shit. I had this conversation yesterday. Like, I almost got in a fight with my boyfriend because I was telling him what we were gonna talk about, and he's all like, "So you're basically defending being a hoe because you love listening to this Cardi B, blah blah blah." And I was like, "No, listen, what another woman does, and
that's her business.
That's her business.
Yeah.
Me personally, I like the song. I'll rap the song. I love how it sounds. So I like the sound of it.
That's one of those things. I don't know the complete bars, but it's from Blue.
Yeah.
You know, it's one. He's like, I don't get it. Like,
she don't like to be called a bitch, but
yeah, like her favorite line is from Exhibit. I be catching bitches while bitches be catching feelings. Like, I don't know. It's crazy how the world works, and it's just like, there's some women out there who don't really have respect for themselves and carry themselves.
And that was the point I was trying to make. Just because I recite these lyrics or I listen to it, I told them,
like, you have a conscience. You understand the difference.
Exactly.
It's not like that's not how you carry yourself.
It doesn't interfere with my own personal morals. I was all like, my personal morals, I'm not gonna be giving my pussy away just to any motherfucker.
Yeah.
So that's my own personal shit. Just because I listen to her and listen to what she has to say, and I may recite the lyrics, that's not gonna make me go give my pussy away. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it goes back to what we said, I think, in the second episode. Mm-hmm. You don't raise weak-minded people that are listening to this music are gonna be heavily influenced by it.
Yeah, because music, honestly, any way you want to say, people will argue it, but music does influence you. Movies, the people you're around, anything that you're listening to repetitively or being around repetitively, you are going to be influenced by it.
And if
negatively
you're weak-minded
or positively, especially if you're weak-minded.
If you don't know how to like tell the difference or how to listen and not act on it, or you know what I mean, like then you're in big trouble.
And that's what's a little bit tougher. And at the end of the day, that's why they put labels on stuff. I don't know how good these labels and things are when, they try to keep it from the kids, but kids are like sponges. So it really wouldn't be smart to have kids listening to this stuff that's super explicit, because they are like sponges. They soak up everything they hear and see. So in a sense, they don't have complete control over it. So I guess it's up to you as parents to monitor what your kids are being involved with and listening to.
Listen.
But at the same time, if you're of the age and have a conscious mind state and you know right from wrong, my thing is like, you could be taught one way and then like you have no choice but to grow up learning a certain thing or learning about life a whole different way, and you really don't have morals, or you don't have like, you just don't follow certain rules. I feel like the vibes, the spirit, whatever energy, whatever you want to call it, I think you will naturally as a human being know right from wrong. You know what I mean? I just feel like by nature, like, you have instincts that tell you right or wrong in a sense. I feel like you have those type of vibes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it just goes back to that, like she's saying, though. It's how you raise your kids.
Let me tell you
what you let influence you or not influence you.
When the first album that I bought of Lil Kim, I think I was 12 years old. And
your parents probably didn't even know what it was.
No, they didn't want to buy it, and I cried all the way home because they saw the album cover, and it was La Bella Mafia. That's the album that I first bought of Lil Kim, and that's because I heard 50 Cent was popping at the time. I heard Magic Stick on the radio, and I wanted the freaking album. We went to Target. I was 12 years old. My parents looked at the cover and they were like, "No, you're not getting this." She has her titties out. She's just covered. It's like this little strap that's just covering her nipples. And my parents were like, no, we're not buying you this. Like, what is this?" I cried. I threw a fit. And then they gave in. The next day, they went to go buy me the album. I would listen to it. I didn't know what the magic stick was. I just knew like I would listen to the songs.
Oh man.
You get me? Like I would listen to the songs and but I would just listen. I guess I listened to music differently or rap differently because I would just try to paint the picture in my head, but I didn't really know like exactly like a lot of things that she was talking about. I didn't know.
Even it's funny going back to we listened to hip hop really young, and it's just by being around older people or just being in tune to our television or radio. But it's like as I got older, there's times now that I'll listen to music I used to listen to as a kid, and I'm able to decipher it a lot better. And I'm just like,
and you're like,
damn,
oh, that's
I was
what
listening
they were
to
saying.
this when I was young. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of like grown folks music, but we were so young listening to it and being influenced by it. But,
and it's like
it goes back to what you said though. It's just, it's all a matter of how you carry yourself and your conscience though. Like, cause I don't know, I was listening to some badass music real young.
exactly.
But I didn't go out there and do too much crazy stuff. You know what I mean? I always kind of limited myself, you know, like, I had self-control pretty much.
In middle school, they would play Splash Waterfalls by Ludacris. And if you play close attention to what he's saying in that song, he's digging down someone in the song. And she's probably squirting or something because Splash Waterfalls, she's got that wet. But it's like we're in middle school, we don't know what he's talking about. But we're just like slow dancing to it or whatever.
His flow is on point, and then there's the beat, and that's like that right there was what was catching people. And then it's like if you really were one to pay close attention to the lyrics, you would hear the message because it's like it's a radio hit. Obviously, they're gonna edit it and do what they gotta do, make music videos to make it suitable for television and radio, and it's gonna be played. But if you listen to the uncut versions and the raw versions, you're gonna hear what the whole message is and what's really going on. And we're listening to that shit as kids, and you know what I mean. I wasn't really filtered on what I was supposed to or not supposed to listen to music.
Yeah,
it just like if what I was listening to was very explicit, my mom would be like, "What the hell are you listening to?" If it was like too wild and it was like a dude straight like just going ham on it, you know what I mean, then it'll be. But other than that, I listened to rap, like explicit rap, my whole life.
Yeah,
for sure. I've been listening to explicit rap since I was probably like in diapers. I could recall home videos of me walking around and there's like NWA or Pac or something blasting, and I'm still in diapers. So it's like I kind of just been around explicit content my whole life. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying like I grew up around it, so it really doesn't faze me.
Yeah, like my parents are Mexican, so they really didn't know what I was listening to. And you know, I don't think it influenced like me listening to explicit lyrics from these ladies. Like it didn't influence me negatively at all. As I got older, like you said, like looking back and listening to certain tracks that I used to listen to as a kid that I didn't know. I would just recite it, but I wouldn't know what she was talking about. Now I'm like, oh.
As you got older, you start to
like,
realize.
Oh, okay, that's what she meant about how many licks.
You know what? It's
that's what she meant about fitting a whole Sprite of can in her mouth. Like I was like, oh, okay, I didn't get it at first.
And it's funny because it's like you're like, kids.
Why the fuck is she putting a can of Sprite in her mouth?
You're walking around the park singing the damn song, and people are probably like, where the hell is this girl hearing the song at? And then you grow up and realize, like, God damn, these songs were wild. But this is all going back to that, though. Like, this is women in hip-hop. And we're not just emphasizing on this, but we're just emphasizing on the whole part why some of the women get bashed of it. And then actually to bring up the topic, though, to bring it back to, like, bring it back home, and what we're aiming towards was to also shine light on the female artists who were about enlightening the people and bringing a message, a positive message. Because at the end of the day, women are women, you know, and it's got to be respect all the way. And like I said, if a woman doesn't respect herself and carry herself in a certain way, or like I said, sometimes it's not suitable to the person, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like sometimes we as people want to see things a certain way, and that's what makes, like I said, that's what makes discussions and talking so difficult, is that we see things one way and you see something another way, and that's why we can't meet in the middle.
It's
And
like you.
that's what's happening with some of these people. They carry themselves one way and they become famous, so it's like that's their way of living. We may not agree to it, but they're gonna keep doing them and they're gonna keep doing just fine. Doesn't mean you have to like them or think it's okay. You can, be against them 100%, but they're not gonna stop living because you don't like it. And you can threaten them and all that, but what good does that do? You may bash them or you may not carry yourself that way, but at the end of the day, what if the way you're living isn't all that gravy?
Yeah.
But you're gonna bash her because are certain women because they're living a certain way. But it's like you
If
gotta
it's not
evaluate. No,
affecting
you can't
you,
throw
like,
stones, really. Like, no one could really throw stones because no one in this world is innocent on anything. And it could just be things a mental thing, physical thing, or your actions, like things you do, things you say, or things you think of, could be just as foul as the way people act upon things. So it's like you really can't judge no one at the end of the day. And I feel like people are gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. So it's like you gotta kind of, you not necessarily embrace it, but it's gonna be there whether you like it or not. And it's just like how much energy you're gonna waste into something like trying to win arguments over of people who already adjusted to their opinion and adjusted to their way of life, that you're not going to win them over. So why argue with people like that kind of thing? That's why I hate the whole discussions. I love talking on it, but I hate getting in arguments with people about music.
because there's
It
no
pisses
winning.
me off because it's like, bro, you're set in your way, I'm set in my way. Why am I going to waste my energy and time to argue with someone over this shit? Like, it's not even worth my time. I defend hip hop and I love the music and the culture and what's gotten us to this point, and why like I've grown fond and in love with music in general. But I'm not gonna waste my time to argue with people over the fact, because music's gonna keep evolving. The world's gonna keep changing, and it's like you got to move with the times. And if you're true to the culture and true to the art and true to who you are, you're gonna bring that. And no matter what field you go into, you're always gonna have that with you. So why argue the point if you're gonna be one of those standout people in whatever you do? You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
There's no reason to try to go in on people and argue your point, because 9 out of 10 times when people are set in their ways, how are you gonna curve their mind?
True.
You know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna force someone to think the way you want to think? It's not gonna happen unless they're open to change and willing to um, let someone else's opinion in. That's really what it is, though.
So let's mention some of the honorable ladies of the past that have contributed to this rap game. So Roxanne Shante, that was the first female rapper, right?
Is it?
I believe so. She's the first one that hit the radio. Um, there is a documentary, like a
It's like a biographical documentary movie.
it's a bio documentary type of thing. It's on Netflix, and
like I said,
her story is actually like, if you guys haven't watched it, you guys need to watch it. I wouldn't say sad, because I mean
it's kind of like,
it kind of
it
is,
has
because
those moments where it low key is like, it's sad.
you would have
but
liked
it's
to
her
see
story.
how far she would have gotten without those specific moments.
Events, yeah. Like certain events took place in her career that were like, it was definitely struggling. It goes back to the thing of like females who like, females been getting screwed over in this game a long time, but now it's starting to get brought to the light. And it's so cool, like going back on how we're talking, like me and Stace are fairly young and we're like, okay, fairly new into this game, and we are trying to learn along the way. And it goes back to this, like this movie, and then doing our own little history and digging deep. Like, we're starting to learn more about the culture that we weren't even alive at these times, when in the 80s, when hip hop's birth, when people were coming out of New York rapping and stuff. So it's cool to be able to recap on these movies and learn more about them. Then you look up the name and you start doing research and listening to the music. You see what these people have been through. And just like she's saying about the events that happened in the movie, which obviously took place, or they altered it a little bit, or maybe it's dead on. But these events took place that screwed up parts of her life, and events that were like setbacks for her, but she didn't she kept, persevering though. She didn't stop where, she didn't let no one stop her, but it just goes back to her being taken advantage of and a lot of situations. And she was, as she got older, it was all about empowering women and respect. Like it was about respect, like, and that's how she started to view things. And I feel it goes back to that, but she is like a landmark in hip hop,
Yep.
especially for women.
Yep. Going back to, I want to touch base how the industry treats women, because in a part, without giving too much away of the movie, because if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. There was a point where she was starting to make shows and she was starting to blow up, right? So people were playing her song on the radio, Roxanne's Revenge. And the boys in her neighborhood, or, if they would see her at a show, they would say, Roxanne, Roxanne, I want to be your man. And she would be so standoffish because she wasn't about that. She was like, I'm here to make my money. I'm here to spit, And then once she got, I think it was her manager, he told her, you have to be a little more nice. Like, kind of like hinting at, you're a girl, you're a woman. You kind of have to sell the fantasy that they could have you. So respond back sweet.
Like, you got to just play the game.
Yeah, play the game.
Play along.
And she was like, at first she was like, what? Like, nah. But then I guess she thought about it and she's like, well, I could get farther if I'd be a little nicer, or, just respond back, sweet, like, oh, whatever. So she kind of gave into that mind state.
Pretty much just like tell them what they want to hear.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily have to go like and be a dirtbag, but pretty much just tell them what they want to hear. People want to hear certain things.
So, and this is, like her as a female towards the men, right? So that's PG-13. Give him a sweet little thank you, or like, sure, you can be my man, but it's leave it at all talk. But how it evolved later down the years, where it's like, if you're a man in the industry, because it's a man's world, if you're developing a female rapper,
you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
If you're developing a female rapper, like if you guys have seen the Notorious B.I.G. story, where he like, gets Lil Kim in the 90s and he tries to have a rap, you know what? We're going to market her a whole different way. You put on a little bikini, I give you some explicit lyrics. That took her to a whole other level. As opposed to if she was spitting lyrics that were like, I'm gonna pull my gun at you or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the way that men in this industry chose to market their female, developments or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
like, those are the repercussions of what happened. They just try to find ways. Like, I'm not saying, like I said, there's a lot of women in this game who by choice, there's some women out there who are independently selling music out the trunk or whatever, who like to rap about shit like that, like some wild explicit content. But there's also women with some in-depth content that's like really about empowering people, empowering women, and kicking knowledge, and just have a tight flow. And they're like some of the best spitters out there. But they don't get the recognition because it's like,
and they don't get the type of money.
Exactly.
Like, as opposed to if you were rapping something totally different. If it's
marketable, because it just goes back to the whole term, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like, if for some reason explicit content and stuff that's questionable and things that are like what going back to, like, what is it, just stuff that catches attention, like, draws attention, the news and TMZ and all that stuff. Like, if it's explicit and it's like drama and it just raises a lot of attention and raises people's eyebrows, and there's like a lot of people like, oh, I wouldn't have said nothing like that. Like, pretty much like doing ballsy stuff, but it's like sexual, explicit, dangerous, and outlandish. Because it's feeding your
curiosity.
Exactly.
It's feeding the listener's curiosity.
People are more drawn to that than wanting to hear about some knowledge or wanting to hear about some real shit for some reason. I think content like that's more of an escape. Like, people don't want to be on. Some people do want to have their brain challenged and their brain fed, a little bit more stuff. But some people like to escape from their reality or look up to these people and be like, I want to be like them, and this is my escape. This is what makes me feel like, damn, like, she's crazy for how she spits like that, or this dude's crazy for how he spits like that. Like it sets people free in a sense. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why us as human beings are drawn to negative sometimes, are drawn to really explicit content or stuff that may be morally not be best suited for us. You know what I'm saying?
And then also, like, going back to gender, like, women are so, there's so much variety in women. Like, you can be a independent woman, you could love in the privacy of your own home and be submissive when you want to. You can birth a child. You know, women have so many titles. And it's like, why not, you know, deliver that through your content too? You're allowed to be sexual in your content, in your music. The cuts in those albums sometimes that don't make the radio, that you don't listen to on the forefront, they also have music that empowers women and they tell you not to take shit from men.
Oh yeah,
you get me? Like,
some of them don't
but
make
those
the
don't
album.
make the
And
radio.
yeah, some of them, that goes back to that. Yeah, some of them won't make the radio. Some of them are in their own private collection, or songs that they did that they just will release in a later time, or that some will never be released. But not all the content they put out is just like on some outlandish shit. It's just they have a business to run at the end of the day, and if it sells, it sells. And if the shoe fits, they're gonna wear it. And for these women that are out here who, however you view them or see them, if they carry themselves a certain way and they stand behind how they carry themselves, at the end of the day, more power to them. At least they ain't being fake about it. If that's the way how they are, how they're gonna act, they're entitled to that. Just like everyone else is entitled to their own way of life. You can't bash them. Like, bro, they're out here hustling and getting money and doing everything that everyone bashes them about and telling them they're not going to do. They're doing it exactly what they said they're going to do, and in front of your face for the whole world to see.
Exactly. So some of the ladies from the beginning years of hip hop, you got MC Light, Roxanne Shante, Queen Latifah, you got Salt and Pepper. So and if you recall, Salt and Pepper, they were talking about sexual things too. But I think
it was more
to
like
the older heads,
metaphors.
yeah, and to the older heads, it's not really considered to, like, quote unquote hoish because of the beat behind it, because of the way it was delivered too. It was like you were just it's a whole different delivery than from what you hear now.
It was a different time, but it's just like every 10 years, people from 10, 20 years ago is not going to like the new generation of music. It's just like, oh, I can't listen to that. I can't stand that. You see it. You know what I mean? You see it occurring now. There's people who first, like I forgot who had said it, or you were saying that last time about was it Peter Rosenberg? His tweet. It's like people who grew up listening to the Furious 5 and to the KRS-Ones, and the people who first came out, they may not accept the new hip hop. Some people that listen to the hip hop which was first coming out of New York may not like what's coming out now. They may not like the Kendricks and the Joey Badass and all across the board. They may not like it, and it could be some really influential music, some really good music, but it may not be to their liking. Same goes to that. Like you said, Salt and Pepper, like, it was something people could dance to. My parents were listening to that. You know, that was their generation. Like, my mom and dad were listening to that era of music, and that was like their get down. Like, they like different stuff like that, but at the time they were cool with it. Now if they listen to some new female explicit content, they're just like, what in the hell are they talking about? And they're gonna do what and do this and do that. But at the time, it was like the same shit, but different, more different metaphors. And it was like, it wasn't so open. And it's like, but it goes back to that thing. Like, I just think it's different here in America. We're not so open about sexuality, and it's so taboo. And I feel like morally we want to set all these morals and rules and regulations to how we live, but it's all crap at the end of the day. Everyone's playing a role.
You also had Remy Ma. She can spit. She can spit, but she also has, in that first album she put out, There's Something About Remy, she had some sexual lyrics, but she got bars. But she has bars. She's still respected in the game. Yeah, and she doesn't overdo it.
If you try to come at her wrong too, you might get shot. That's all I'm saying.
You had Angie Martinez kind of dabbled in it. She did what was it? Not Tonight, the remix with Lil Kim, Lisa Left Eye Lopez. They all hopped on that track together. You have people like Trina, Eve, Moni Love. You have Lady of Rage from out here in the West Coast, Yo Yo, Rod Digga when she was rolling with Busta. And then you have the Brat and the Queen, Miss Lauryn Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Lauryn Hill is definitely the one that's most highly praised. And because I don't think she ever did anything sexual with her lyrics. She started out with the Fugees. You know, she spit. It was a different era too. But she spit her bars there, and then when she did her solo album, it was a mixture between, you know, singing and rapping, and she really empowered women with the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. So people put her in a really high pedestal, but she did, you know, do a Grammy. She won a Grammy, right? I think she won a few Grammys for that, but you know, like, it's a whole different type of audience, you know.
Yeah, it's just like,
She
I don't
was
know,
still
she's just giving it from
successful.
a different
Yeah.
perspective, you know. And
She was still very successful, but, you know,
things happen, and there's things that happen behind closed doors that they're not gonna tell you everything that happens, but there's stuff that happens, and that could have been one of the reasons what messed with her career or other things. People go through personal stuff, and it's just like sometimes we see these people at such high standards, but at the end of the day, they're
people
human.
like that are
you
like
know?
one in a million. You got Lauryn Hill. She set that standard, and she didn't. She's on a pedestal, and she can't be taken down from it.
And she didn't have to exploit herself.
Exactly.
She didn't have to do something she wasn't
like
uncomfortable with.
One in a million, and then you have everyone else that's just doing their own thing, and would you want everyone else rapping or trying to sound like Lauryn Hill? No, you want your icon. You want that icon that set the standard for everyone, and not anyone can reach her or match her.
Yeah.
And then present time, you do have, you know, Nicki Minaj. She took over for a lot of years. Like, no one could take that crown off of her, and that's because the generation that got to her was not the generation that was listening to Lauryn Hill, to the ladies from the past. There was a big, huge gap where
there was not really any.
There wasn't a specific woman that made it really, really, really big.
Who dominated in the aspect of killing it in radio and in music in general,
and
who
being
lasted
marketed
such a long time.
the way that she was.
Yeah.
Like, she had a big machine behind her, like Cash Money. Was it Cash Money?
Young Money is
Money.
under Cash Money.
So they were a huge freaking team, and during that specific time frame that they were taking over, she was the female that they were really like pushing out. Everyone wanted her on features. There was a
lot of, the talent was there, but there was like a lot of money, a lot of power, powerful people behind that to just put her in the position she was in, and she was able to control for so long and kill the game.
Yeah. And I think it's what's happening to Cardi B right now.
Yeah.
She has a team. People believe in whatever she's selling. At least corporate America does. Mm-hmm. And they're marketing her to a T. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's time. You guys wanted a new female in hip hop? Well, here she is. You may not like what she's selling, but you guys were tired of Nicki, right? On to the next one.
Yeah, and then we'll see what the future holds and see how long her run is. Like people say, it could be 1, 2, 3 songs, 4 songs. It could be 5 years of songs she's pumping out, or it could be multiple albums. We won't know. But, you know, I wish success for her and that she keeps on pushing. But if she don't, and she can take what she's earned from this and go sit up somewhere if she wants to. She don't have to keep doing it. But if she continues to progress and keeps killing it, by all means, she's going to keep doing that. But then we'll see what the future holds for the next female that comes up. Could be more explicit or more or reality or whatever the case is. There will be more to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, there needs to be more to come.
And I know it bothers people because of your own personal preferences when you see like an artist, like your own personal taste in female rap, when you don't see them shine as big, or you're like, why isn't she famous? She's got better bars than her. Like, why isn't she getting the shine? We as listeners have little to no control over how people are marketed in the mainstream. All you can do is keep spreading the word about your artist
Yeah.
and keep supporting and keep, you know what I mean?
Yeah, really though. It's support, support, and support.
And what I believe, shout out to Drake, it's God's plan. Whoever makes it to be a multi-millionaire off of this game, it was destined for you.
Oh yeah.
You
Because
know?
it's like your chances are a million, like a 1 in a million.
It's
Pretty much.
oversaturated.
Yeah. But it there's a market for everybody.
There is.
There's definitely a market for everybody. It's how
You could be
you pitch
well off.
it, and yeah, you can. There's ways to succeed in this industry independently, or finding a market or a label that works best for you. It's just learning techniques of marketing that are suitable for you, and it's like, if you're drawn to being in the limelight and being number one and being on top, it's a lot of work, but it could be done. But like Stay said though, it's oversaturated. But if your goal is to continue to create and be involved in the industry and be a part of it, there is a piece for everybody. And that's what everyone, I think, so afraid of, or thinking like, oh, there's only an elite or a certain few. But
No.
you can find a way to get in this, and you have to maneuver certain ways. And no one has a layout really. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I forgot the song, but it's on one of J. Cole's mixtape. But he's like, I wish they had a layout or a plan on how to get up off the bench on the sideline story. And it's like, it's true though. There's no layout. There's no strategy on how to make it in the industry. It's like trial, error, fall down, get up, fall down, get up, fall down, get up, and find what works for you. And if you being in the front lines doesn't work for you, try being behind the scenes. Maybe that may work for you. But there's definitely room for people to eat, and it's just how you go about it. Your relationships you have a lot to do with it. The way you are as a person has a lot
Your
to do with it.
character, yes.
Your work ethic, and just all that in general. Your work ethic
And being likable, being marketable.
exactly. And image has a lot to do with it too. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I've watched numerous documentaries, heard from a lot of musicians and artists personally. Like, image has a lot to do with it. And you can be the dopest, the most talented, or have so many ideas, or be a great producer or whatever, but the image to the package you're trying to sell, whether it's an artist or any type of media or something you're trying to sell, how you package it is very important too. It's got to be sellable, it's got to be marketable, and it's got to look nice, shiny. And if it's nice and shiny and it packs a punch, and the product stands as good as how it looks, you got nothing but good material all around.
Exactly. You have people like Snow the Product. You know, she can spit.
Oh yeah.
And she's been bagged. She's been co-signed by Charlemagne the God from the
She's
Breakfast
been on
Club.
she's been on what's that, the BET Cyphers before.
Exactly.
She's been in the likes of the mainstream, but she's still battling against it, you know what I mean? Because it's like, she's a 1 in a million. She is a Mexican hip hop artist, a female artist at that, who was battling against these big machines independently. I believe, I don't know if she's backed by a label right now, but she's fighting the good fight and actually spitting. Like, she's probably go toe to toe with some of these male rappers. What I'm saying is, like, she got bars that can hang. So it's like, but she's in one of those battling situations.
It was funny because I saw a post where a fan of hers, and it was a male, they said, they screenshotted like some Cardi B thing, and they put, my girl Snow can run circles around her, can beat her at rap anytime, any day. Right? This was from a male fan. Little, like, it rubbed me off the wrong way because and you know, females can speak on this. Sometimes, you know, fans try to put the females against each other. And if you go to Snow the Product's page, the day that Cardi announced her pregnancy and was on Saturday Night Live, she posted a picture of Cardi and put, "This girl is winning at fucking life. This is beautiful." There's no hate there. Snow ain't worried about Cardi. Cardi ain't worried about Snow. Just like, I don't know. It's just like fans try to put these, and that's a big problem too.
There's people out there who just love drama, or just, I don't know, for some
Like,
reason they want to stir the pot when it doesn't need to be stirred. People just
a lot
like
of
to
these
spark
ladies
shit.
are on a lane of their own, and it's
Exactly.
sad that when it comes to women in hip hop, people put them toe to toe against each other. Like, who can out rap who's sexier than who, you know what I'm saying?
But
And
it goes back to same with males, but with females it's like
it's extra
it's
entertaining.
Yeah, because it's drama and it's a girl on girl and it's a trip. It's bullshit. But when like I said, I don't know, for some reason people love that shit. People like to compare, but it's like not one. There's artists who people are like, oh, this person sounds like this person, or this person sounds like that, or they sound like they were inspired by this or that. Not that, but I'm saying when people are trying to like compare and contrast artists and like, oh, this artist is better than this. There's gonna be artists better than other artists, and then there's gonna be artists that are in their own lane. It's like, man, just let people be. But that's a whole nother shit. Like, people are always gonna be opinionated on what they like and do not like, which is totally fine. But like I said, it's a never winning battle between these people. Like, you can state it. If you get into the hearts and the minds of these strong opinionated people, and you are able to make them see how you see it, that's amazing. But if not, it's like, it's no hard feelings. Like, keep on thinking how you think, and I'll be over here open-minded at all times. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like that, and there's a lot of people out there that are like that as well. But like you said, like, Snow has no issue with her, and she wishes her the best, and you could obviously see her supporting
other women.
On her platform, where she has a huge following, letting people know how she's openly supporting this woman, and people are still trying to create attention that doesn't need to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Shout out to the women holding their own. So, Snow the Product. There's this new girl. I believe she's from New York, Princess Nokia.
Mm-hmm.
Rhapsody's definitely doing her thing, and she's successful. She may not be as famous as, her listeners want her to be, but hey, she's Grammy nominated. She's doing her own thing. She's still getting paper out here. There's something for everything, for every type of listener out here. And, your artists can still bank off of this game, even if they're not at the forefront, even if they're not glorified by the late night talk shows, by the, trending news.
Yep, they're still out there putting in work.
We got our local underground artist. You got people like Reverie. She's been traveling. She's been doing her thing. She's making money off of tours. She has her core following too. And she keeps growing.
Yeah, she's doing clothing. She's doing the music, and she's continuously working, and working with different brands and companies, and just overall getting her feel for independent success. And we wish the best for her, and she's out there just getting it. And there's, like I said, there's no reason to be hating on these women out here who are out there being strong, independent women. You may not like it. Like I said, for insecure men or men that are like stand behind the machismo or the macho-ness, or feeling like a woman's place should be in the kitchen or some shit like that. Like, it's 2018. It's a different ball game out here. You know what I mean? If they're out here trying to get it, and they can keep up and compete and sometimes do a better job than you, then it's like, bro, you got to respect the hustle, got to respect the game, and they're out here working, running laps around people. So it's like, you can't hate on that shit.
You got people like Vel the Wonder, Gavlin.
Dope artists.
A lot of these ladies are doing their thing. You know what I was thinking on the way here? Because I was trying to like prepare my mind for this topic. And I was like, men get so frustrated or judgmental about when a woman raps about her sexuality, or, certain things about herself. But I was thinking, like, it bothers you so much when a woman is telling you, or is expressing in her music, that her pussy's good, that, she lays it down, she can fuck a man good. But think about, like, if you really think about it, how about when you men are telling us this, like, girl, your pussy's so good. Like, girl, you got that good. You
Yeah.
got that wet. It's fine when you guys tell it to us in the privacy of our own homes. But when women express what you guys are basically telling us, but it's coming out of their own mouth, it's a problem. It's a huge double
Yeah, because
standard.
see,
It's
no,
a
but see,
huge
there's like,
double standard.
it's some of those things where people believe, like that should be in the privacy of your home and the privacy of people one on one. And usually, and sometimes those people are referring to between men and women. But then, like you said, sometimes men would prefer to be the ones with the dirty talk, explicit out loud, and that women should keep that in the bedroom and don't be bringing it out loud. So it's like that's like you said, it's double
A
standards.
freak
And
in the sheets, lady in the streets.
yeah, that type. Like, don't let the world see what I be seeing.
It's
You know what I mean?
2018,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, but
I
it's
mean,
like,
it's whatever. To each their own.
Exactly.
It's just the fact that you can't really hate on it, guys. Like, I mean, you choose what you give respect to, but at the same time, it's like everyone has their own voice. So if it's
Yeah.
not bothering
you should definitely respect it. If you want your opinion to be heard, you gotta listen to all these other people too. At
Listen,
the end of the day,
you ain't fucking her. Like, you have a problem with Cardi B, you ain't fucking her. She's not out there.
yeah,
You
she's
know,
not your girl. So
she's not
stop
your
being all
girl.
mad. But
And if you're worried about your daughters growing up to be like her, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it goes back to parenting and monitoring what they're doing and listening to, and
exactly.
and showing them right from wrong, pretty much. Before we do get into the music, why are you smirking over there? Did I cut you off?
No, because I was going to say, just, let them hear the censored album.
Oh no,
I
that's
mean,
true too. That's no, you could buy their music censored.
Go to
That's-
Walmart. All their shit is censored, man.
No, to be honest, it's a sad day, but I think physical music's coming to an end, but those that are independent,
Bro.
vinyl's selling at an all-time high right now. They made millions of dollars last year selling vinyl. So, physical music still sold, especially vinyl. CDs still being sold, but it looks like we're going into the generation of just streaming and MP3s and streaming music videos.
Yeah.
And
I recently bought a car, and I mean, I didn't really check it out. Like, it was a nice car, whatever. Like, I was like, okay, it has a like a Bluetooth thing, cool. And then I brought my CDs over like a few days later. That shit didn't have a CD player.
Nope, mine doesn't either.
I was like, what the fuck? I have so many CDs, and I don't have a CD player at home. I don't have a boombox at home. The only way I could listen to my CDs was in my car. My old car had a CD player, and I'm like, oh my freaking God, it's coming.
Yeah,
It's coming.
It's tough because physical
CDs are ancient, guys.
Yeah, but selling physical copies was a good way for artists, especially independent artists, to make their money, to
Yep.
make good money off of it. So the streaming services are a little tricky, and you got to have lots of streams to make some dollars off of it. But that's another topic for another day.
Do we want to get into our
Let's
picks
get
of
in-
the week?
Yeah, we're gonna get into the music right now. But I was gonna before we get into these songs, I wanted to let you guys know, those of you who do follow us on Instagram, we appreciate you guys, and just let people know about us, and let them know about our podcast, and have them take a listen to this. And if you guys are listening, like I said, go on the last post that we posted about who's the top females in the game right now, and check out the comments. And in the drop down comments, a lot of people tagged local artists from all around the states and maybe out of the country. I'm not too sure, but in those comments below, they do have a lot of artists that we didn't mention today that you can they at their Instagram. So the best thing to do is to go in those comments and check out all those artists. There's a lot of artists, excuse me, who are coming up, and go and follow them, support them, check out their music. And these are dope female artists that are coming up in the game. So I would appreciate it if you guys went to our Instagram, All in Check Podcast, and checked out those comments and checked out the Instagram names that were tagged in those comments, and really give a chance to listen to these artists and hear them out. You never know, they might be your next best female artist. You know what I'm saying? So check that out. And Stace, what song do you want to get into first?
So the song that I picked, it's called Murder, She Wrote. And it's by, I hope I'm not butchering this, Dewaya. And she was actually tagged in our post by, I'm guessing, her friend Coest Co-West 89, and she's out of Texas. So I hope you guys enjoy this.
Yeah, Murder She Wrote.
That's a breath of fresh air, by the way. Yeah.
It was murder, I tell you, murder she wrote. Leaving out a single witness, just a courtesy note. I'm out for presidents to represent. I'm out for presidents to represent with currency notes. It was murder, I tell you, murder she wrote. Leaving out a single witness, just a courtesy note. I'm out for presidents to represent. I'm out for presidents to represent with currency notes. Selfish as ever, however, clever whenever cross. Caught in the same ball of fog that let a lost angel sitting on the opposite. Show them my devil's on, but when the kettle's warm, we get it popping like kettle corn. Born to misfit this, chickens ballistic, the hottest with the modest fit. So sick on this here misbeat. Forensics can't see, nor ID the tragic, classic. Demise, minds hypnotized. Shine bright like the northern lights while soaring heights. Why smiling with my overbites? Mike, type on the mic, yeah, show you right. Poltergeist when I rhyme, seeking you shall find. Out there anything free is overpriced. Sky's the limit to the timid, take a minute, let it ride. Strive to survive, trying triumphs, timing up the reckless, timing up the essence, beauty within the beast. Sleeping final in your dreams, creeping up on the scheme, cause it was murder, I tell you, murder she wrote. Leaving out a single witness, just a courtesy note. I'm out for presidents to represent. I'm out for presidents to represent with currency notes. It was murder, I tell you, murder she wrote. Leaving out a single witness, just a courtesy note. I'm out for presidents to represent. I'm out for presidents to represent with currency notes. Locked away in the box of rage, pain is displayed in everything I say. Movements of rudeness, abused yet amused and amused by the bush. Be quiet, a moment of silence for blaring sirens. Babies crying and people dying. Peace be still during these acts of violence. And all the Rodney King riots of hollow tips and politics. Hollow creed, apocalyptic. Ricochet for that dinner plate. And don't forget to say grace and give thanks.
Yes, Lord.
Because things change when it's changing, boy. But me, no, I haven't changed at all. Still the hottest chick spitting where nature calls. Still ringing alarms with my roller calls. Gosh, someone please call 911. It was murder, I tell you, murder she wrote. Leaving out a single witness, just a courtesy note. I'm out for presidents to represent. I'm out for presidents to represent with currency notes. It was murder, I tell you, murder she wrote. Leaving out a single witness, just a courtesy note. I'm out for presidents to represent. I'm out for presidents to represent with.
Damn, B. You killed the baby. Oh, they mad now. Cause you just murder. Ha. What up? L-Town. The chemist. Dwyer. The devil is a liar.
All right, it's Dewaya. I completely butchered that at the beginning, but you guys can go ahead and follow her on Instagram at Dewaya Like. That's DEWHYALIKE. And she has a new song, a new single out called I Might. Make sure you guys check that out as well. And that was Murder She Wrote.
And shout out to Texas and the dope artists they have.
Hey, thank you for tagging her. She's like a hidden gem.
For sure. So, this song that I'm getting into is from a local artist by the name of Selket. And this song is called PYS. So let's get into it. Shout out to all the ladies making music.
Try to take me down, I'ma take you under. You think you know it all, I'ma make you wonder how you got it all twisted up with me. Make you question everything you believe. Tell me that you're sorry, say that now things change. Say that now you need me, but I ain't playing games. Round and round we go, I can't take no more. Round and round we go, tell me what's this for. I regret the day when you took up my space. Ain't got time to waste, get about my face. Not enough for you to take. Try take you under. You think you know it all, I'ma make you wonder how you got all twisted up with me. Make you question everything you believe. Back up your shit, back up your shit and go. Back up your shit, back up your shit and go. Back up your shit, I don't know. Back up your shit, back up your shit and go. Wanna hear your story, tryna switch the blame, playing with fire, need to stay in your lane. Round and round we go, I can't take no more. Round and round we go, I've heard that line before, and I regret the day when you took up my space. Ain't got time to waste, get about my face, not enough for your taste. I'ma take me down, I'ma take you under. You think you know it all, I'ma make you wonder how you got all twisted up with me. Make you question everything you believe. Back up your shit, back up your shit and go. Back up your shit, back up your shit and go. Back up your shit, I don't know. Back up your shit, back up your shit and go. No, I ain't saying that I love you. No, you can't do the things you used to. No, there's no right way to say you can't stay. Back up your shit, I can't live this way.
Try to take me down. Try to take me down, 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 down.
Yo, that was PYS by Selket. You guys can follow her on Instagram at SEL_QET. Again, you guys can find her music on soundcloud.com/Selket. And she has all her info on her Instagram. So hit her up and follow her. We appreciate you guys supporting all these local artists. And we appreciate you guys submitting music. How can they submit music to us, Stace?
Go ahead and hit us up at our email, allincheckpodcast@gmail.com. And we will check it out.
We review all submissions, and it'll be best to send us an MP3 or WAV. Either one works, but best would be MP3, a short bio, and all your social media links. And if it makes the podcast, it makes the podcast. And we do review all the music, and we hope to play all the music submissions that we do get. And we appreciate you guys that are following. Let's get into what music's out right now. What new music just dropped? You want to give a couple of those titles, and we'll talk on that.
All right. You noted on here, Everything's Fine by Jean Grey and how do you say his name?
I think it's
Quale
Chris.
All right.
I believe. I might be wrong.
I listened to some of it. It's not my cup of tea. I like Jean Grey. I like her old stuff. I like, like Super Love. I like like this Love Sick.
Yeah.
Like all the underground things that us, when we were dabbling into the underground scene, the things that we were exposed to coming from her, all of this new stuff she's experimenting with, it's not my cup of tea. But I'm glad to see she's still doing her thing and still putting music out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Most definitely. And I was watching another review on it, and it's just like the guy that was reviewing the project, he was just saying how he
likes Jean Grey a lot. Like she's one of his favorite artists, and that she rarely puts out music. So it's dope that she's still creating, but she does put out music periodically, but just not as much as most artists these days. But she does have great content. I like she's like Stace said, I do like a lot of her older music. It was really dope. The next project that's out, I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but Flatbush Zombies, they're a dope hip hop group, and the album's called Vacation in Hell. Again, that's by Flatbush Zombies. That's available on all the streaming apps. Every song or album that we're speaking on, they're available to the streaming apps, and I'm sure YouTube and all the other apps that you guys are able to listen to music on, whether it be computer, tablet, or cell phone. These can all be accessed through that. Also, Venom by You God of Wu-Tang. I got a chance to listen to the whole album yesterday. It's pretty dope. It has that old sound, so it had me like pumped up. I'm at work listening to the album, but it had me like hyped up. It does have that old sound, so it's different. It's definitely hip hop for sure, but it does have that Wu-Tang sound. So if you guys are a fan of that and you guys do like You God, Venom is definitely a dope album to check out. Also, Parking Lot Music by Currency, very dope. Currency to me is a very consistent man, whether it's him working on his cars and pimping out lowriders and shit, or working on music. He's continuously pumping out music. I think he's on the vibe where he's putting out a project once a month, I believe. I could be wrong, but it's almost damn near once a month that he's putting out either an EP or an album, and that is consistency. That's the kind of stuff that I like to see, and that's similar to my boy Mosenrath. Like, just the way they're maneuvering and how they carry themselves and how they operate is just like dropping project after project. That's dope. To be able to create that much content is amazing. So make sure you guys check that out. Something good to smoke and drive to, if that's what you're into. Also, I got a chance to listen to this a little bit, but I'm still going to be checking it out a lot more. It's Connected and Respected by E40 and Be Legit. You already know it has some Yay area slappers on there. So it's really dope content because it just has that bass sound, and E40 always delivers. It's never a letdown. E40 always has some dope content, and he knows how to switch it up. He comes up with so many different words and the ebonics and everything. So just the whole sound and feel for it's really amazing. And last Stace put up was Nice for What, Drake.
Hey, shout out to the ladies, because he's really giving props to the hardworking ladies on this track. So I'm definitely digging it. The video also dropped, and he put a lot of empowering women on it. He put like Tracy Ellis Ross, Michelle Rodriguez, all the ladies that are doing their own thing in their own lane, that are strong. Just really influential women in the industry. Rather than putting your typical video vixens on there, he chose to showcase that. So I think, props to Drake. And he didn't make our top list of female MCs, but we still mentioned him on this episode.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy. So that,
and of course, and also I didn't put it on there, but of course the Cardi B guys, like I'm really digging the album. There's something in there for everybody, I think so. If you want to get ratchet, there's some ratchet stuff on there. There's some tracks that the ladies will relate to. There's tracks like Through Your Phone and Ring featuring Kehlani. She had a lot of dope features that you wouldn't necessarily think as someone who's putting out their first debut album, and especially a new lady coming into the game. She has Migos, obviously. I mean, that was a given. But she had Kehlani on there. She has SZA. She has Chance the Rapper on there. She has a lot of dope features.
yeah.
So, I don't know. Give it a chance, guys. And, a lot of my fellas are going to hate on it, but the ladies are loving it. So, I'm digging it.
Hey, as you should.
Hate on me if you want to. I'm a stripper hoe.
Okay.
I'm about my money.
Yeah, whatever, weirdo. Anyways, check it out. This episode of
Our All in Check podcast was sponsored by Mystery Baking Company. Shout out to Scooby. What up, man?
Hey, hi,
Check it
Scooby.
out. It is the home of your favorite edible spreads, Prop 215 and SB 420 compliant. You guys could order at, like I said, it's order at mysterybaking.com. Or if you guys have the Weed Maps app, go ahead and download that. If you do not have it, search Mystery Baking and you guys will find it at all your local shops, from candy to spread to drinks to all the edibles and needs. They have what you want and what you need, and it's very sweet, tasty, and it gives you that full effect, if you know what I mean. So make sure you guys check out the treats and food. Again, shout out to Mystery Baking. You guys could find them at mysterybaking.com, also weedmaps.com/mysterybaking. So make sure you guys check it out. Again, follow them on Instagram at Mystery Baking. Again and again and again, dope product, and it's amazing. So guys, check it out. That's us. We're going to wrap it up. I'm ARS.
And I'm your girl, StaceFresh.
And we are the All in Check podcast.
Yeah.
Peace.